You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV from Toronto, Ontario. I'm Samia Sayed. Welcome to the show. Joining us very shortly is Brother Imran Hasan, the candidate for Ward 11 in the Mississauga Municipal election. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. NATO chief and Canadian PM discuss security and climate. UCP leadership candidates' social media accounts hacked. Church and synagogue to sponsor a Muslim family. Rohingya refugees mark 5th Genocide Remembrance Day. And now the details. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg is visiting Canada today to tour a military radar site in Cambridge Bay, Nunavut. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Stoltenberg will highlight security issues and climate change in the region. The two officials will discuss how the rapidly melting Arctic ice is making Canada more accessible, be it to allies or enemies. This is the first time a NATO chief will be visiting Canada's Arctic region. Stoltenberg previously visited Canada in 2019. However, he and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met earlier this year at the NATO summit in Madrid. Leela Ahir, a United Conservative Party leadership candidate and member of Alberta's legislature, says that her social media accounts have been targeted, reports a media source. Speaking yesterday at a news conference, Ahir says Facebook has notified that both her personal and public accounts are compromised and being used for sexual exploitation. Ahir says this attack will not silence her voice against racism and bigotry in government. Laurie Williams, a political scientist from Calgary's Mount Royal University, says that another Alberta premiership candidate faced an incident where her identity was used to verbally abuse another woman. Williams says both incidents, which have been perpetuated against women, show disturbing similarities. In an act of interfaith harmony, a church and synagogue in Victoria, British Columbia, are collecting donations to sponsor a Muslim refugee family that escaped from Syria. Nearly 20 members of Congregation Emmanuel El Synagogue and Lutheran Church of the Cross are trying to secure an immigration spot for the family of 6 currently residing in Southeast Asia. Robert Oppenheimer, the committee chair, says that they have raised $25,000. However, to ensure the spot, the committee needs to raise a total of $40,000 by the end of October. The family fled Syria when their neighborhood was being shelled. Their apartment and car were bombarded. Today marks the 5th year since nearly 750,000 Rohingya refugees fled a military offensive in Myanmar. Several Genocide Remembrance Day rallies were held across a huge network of camps in Bangladesh as the crowds demanded a safe return to their home state in western Myanmar. The protesters also demanded the repeal of a 1982 law that stripped them of their citizenship in Myanmar. The August 2017 Buddhist Myanmar onslaught is now the subject of a landmark genocide case at the UN's top court. Today, there are nearly 1 million Rohingya, half of them under 18, living in deplorable conditions. That's it for the news. Now, the October municipal elections for the city of Mississauga are fast approaching. So let's hear from one candidate who is running this year. Brother Imran Hasan is the president of Transglobal Systems of Canada. He is quite an active member of the community, with his current post being the chair of Peel Crime Stoppers, among many others. This year, Brother Imran is the candidate for Ward 11, and he is joining us today to speak more about his campaign. Welcome, Brother Imran. It's great to have you on the show once again.
Assalamu alaikum, and good morning to all your viewers. Thank you for having me on your show.
Walaikum assalam. Brother Imran, I want to hear all about your campaign and what you're doing, but begin by telling me first, why are you running in the election this year?
Well, I'm a local resident and a business owner and a concerned citizen, and I love Mississauga, and I want to help make this community safer and stronger for our future generations.
Mm-hmm. You've run in the election multiple times now, including once in 2014 and then in 2018, unfortunately to no avail. But you're putting yourself forward once again. Why do you keep coming back to the election?
That's an excellent question, Sister Samia. I'm dedicated to Mississauga Ward 11 and Streetsville community. I ran in 2014 and 2018, as you pointed out, and I finished a respectable second place. In fact, all of the other candidates' votes combined didn't total what we were able to accomplish. So we had a very strong second position. And this time, the incumbent, he's not running. So we have a clear line of sight to the goal line. So we're out there knocking on doors and talking with the public. And we're hoping to cross the finish line and finish first place.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you said, you did come in second place in what you claim to be the total number of all the other candidates who were running at the time. But when I was taking a look at the numbers, I saw that in 2014, you had just over 17% of the vote. And then in 2018, it rose over to just over 22%. Now, it's definitely a positive trend, but it was nowhere near the majority vote that George Carlson, the winner, had, which was over 68%. What makes this election different then, other than him leaving, of course?
Well, that's a great observation, Sister Thamia. And the incumbent always has an advantage. And in the case of the incumbent, he had been serving in this community for over 20 years. And so that name recognition was something that really resonated with voters. And now that his name is not on the ballot, it opens up that 68% of votes, which is about 5,000 voters. And what I'm hearing at the doors when I'm knocking is that, yeah, George is not running. We remember you from 2014 and 2018. Some actually admitted to supporting me, or others have said they thought strongly about voting for me. But this time, their decision is made more easily because they don't have the incumbent to consider. So they like that I've been persistent, that I've been coming back, knocking on the doors. I've heard comments like, hey, you're back. Others saying, oh, so you're the one that's going to be, taking over for the councillor position. And please sign us up and put a lawn sign on our property. So those are the kind of messages we're hearing when we're door knocking.
So you're the name to remember this year.
You know what? This is what I'm told, and I'm not going to rely on luck. I'm going to rely on hard work, and that's why over the last 8 weeks I've been pounding on doors and speaking with residents in Ward 11, as well as the business community and community groups that are stakeholders in Ward 11.
And that's exactly what I was going to inquire about next. You've been quite involved with the community. Tell me a little bit about your experiences and how this has prepared you to take on the role as councillor.
Well, what we're hearing when we're knocking on doors is that neighborhoods, security and road safety are priority number one for our residents. And as the chair for PO Crime Stoppers, that's been my priority. And so it was a really, a natural fit for me to be able to champion that priority, in addition to, knocking on doors and when speaking with residents, they want their voices heard because representation matters. And of course, they want to see Mississauga reach its full potential. And they feel that having a strong voice at the municipal level will allow their community, their families, their youth, as well as seniors, to be able to reach that potential. And so, the door knocking is so very important because as much as we have an agenda to champion road safety and neighborhood security, we want to hear from residents as to what their priorities are and make those our priorities on day one and get to work on October the 25th.
Now, you've mentioned road safety, policing, but what are some of the other key areas or issues that your campaign is centered around?
Again, having the voices heard of the residents and the businesses, who felt that they didn't have a voice. And we have such a dynamic and diverse community that really needs to be heard. And the only way that I can think of getting that message out to the public is by knocking on doors, and that's what I've been doing, and the response I've been getting is very positive. People are very excited to see that someone who cares about their community is going out knocking their doors and asking questions. And I'll tell you, businesses will say something odd like, we can't vote for you, so why are you here? And I said, well, there are so many issues that affect businesses, and as a small business owner myself, and knowing that small businesses are the economic engine of our economy and of our province and of our city, it's very important that we understand what are their issues and what are their concerns, what are their barriers that they're facing in able to either open a business or to keep their businesses open and not only survive but succeed and thrive. And so it's very important for me to have that, finger on the pulse, both from the residents as well as from the business communities.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned quite a few times in your campaigns that representation matters. And from what you've been saying so far, I can see how that applies. But I want to ask, as a Muslim myself, what do you think your win would mean for Muslims in Mississauga?
Well, I'm going to say that many people who live in this community and contribute to this community and making it a successful city and a region feel that they don't have a role model that they can look up to at the municipal level. And I'll share quickly a story with you. When my father came to Canada in 1973, he didn't have a role model. And he navigated through, establishing a successful business, as well as, trying to understand, what level of government affected him in which way. And he never really had someone he could pick up the phone and call. He just kind of relied on information that was available to him through the public. And I really think that, I have an opportunity to change that for future newcomers who are going to come to Canada and make this country their home. They would like to be able to see someone who looks like them and someone whose face and name resonates, with where they came from. And whether you come from Asia, you come from Africa, or you come from Europe, and all parts of the world, we have such a diverse community here in Mississauga, and it's not unique to just Mississauga. We have diversity across our region and across our province. And I really feel that we need individuals who are a reflection of the community, represent the community, and bring that voice so that those individuals and those businesses can be heard.
That's a great message right there. We are drawing to a close, but before we end, Brother Imran, tell the viewers, why should they trust you with their vote?
Well, I'm going to say that the local level of government impacts the day-to-day lives of citizens, not just daily, but hourly. Think about the services that the municipality and the region provides to individuals. That, you wake up in the morning and you turn on the lights, that's a municipal service. When you turn on the water to brush your teeth, that's a municipal service. When you're driving your roads on those safe streets and walking on those sidewalks in the winter when they're cleared, those are all municipal services. And for those reasons and so many others, that we need to think about why it's important to vote on October the 24th in the upcoming municipal election. And I have been working so hard as a volunteer, not only as the chair for Appeal Crime Stoppers, but also the vice president of the board for Eden Food for Change, to help give a hand up to the community in need and bring the voice of the arts community to the table through my work at the Mississauga Arts Council. And of course, the work that I did previous to this at the Mississauga Board of Trade, championing small businesses. And being a small business owner myself, I really feel I have the experience running a business, as well as the relationships I've developed with stakeholders in the community, to be that person that can help connect people and just really bring Mississauga to its full potential.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Brother Imran, and good luck on the upcoming election.
Appreciate your time, and thank you very much. Stay safe.
You too. You are watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. That's it from our Toronto studios tonight. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more Canadian Muslim content. Stay safe, and until next time.